welcome to another edition of Miami Cycling. We have a doozy for you today. It is El Hueco Race Miami Pre-Race 4. The weather forecast called for sustained 25-mile-an-hour winds with wind gusts of up to 40 and torrential downpours. And let me just say, as soon as we hit go on this race, the rain started, and then it started, and it started some more. We came into this race with a plan of helping Johnny get to the podium today. He's had a top 10 in every race so far, but it was very, 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 very tough to really do anything other than try and maintain good position in the field and just stay in the race, because this race was absolutely flat out full gas from the start. The rain started pouring. We ended up seeing pieces of trees falling into the course. We had puddles of water that were up to the middle of the wheels, and we're flying through it at 25 plus miles an hour, and it was just crazy. I've got to say, it was the most exciting, most fun, most adrenaline pumping time I've ever had on a bicycle, but I don't think that I would volunteer to do it again. Then again, like if it rains again during a race, I'm going to race, but I'm not hoping for it again. But today was just absolutely wild. So I am not going to cut out a ton of footage from this race like I usually do, because the race was only 22 minutes long. And as this race goes forward, the rain starts hitting harder and harder and harder, and I just think it's neat to watch, and hopefully you guys do too. The first couple laps, like I said, we're full gas. Like you'd see, I'm doing 500, 400 watts right here just to stay with it. Almost up to 600 watts right there. We were pushing hard. It was not for the faint of heart. I'm not sure how many people got dropped or decided that they were going to not finish the race because of the level of danger involved with this, but it was intense. So I'm going to go ahead and let this race play for a little bit. I will probably chop maybe 5 to 8 minutes out of this to get this video down to, right around the 10 to 15 minute mark instead of 23, because I still have to put a little bit of stuff for P123 and the women's race in at the end and post some results. But I don't want to lose all this footage because it's cool. Like once the rain really starts hitting, it's just like it's all out. So I'm going to leave you with this for a little bit and let the video play. Hope you all enjoy. So just checking in here, I had absolutely no idea that as I'm letting this little gap ahead of me go, not on purpose, that we had such a big gap behind us of riders. I really didn't know. And then there's also another small gap ahead up there, as you can see, but you can also tell now the rain is absolutely hammering us. You can see in the back camera, this guy's getting tons and tons and tons of water coming up on him. It was hitting it pretty good. It was very, very difficult to see anything once you got in the wheels and started getting the wheel spray. In the rear view camera, you can see the guy in the yellow. He's the current series leader. I believe he ended up having a puncture today, which was unfortunate for him. He was unable to finish the race at El Hueco. There's no free laps, so if you have a mechanical you're chasing, basically that means your race is done. There's no way you can catch back up to the peloton at El Hueco. It's always just going super fast. Coming up this straightaway here, this is like the finishing straight we're on. We were pretty much in a dead headwind. You can see where I'm still pushing lots of watts. We're going 26, 25 miles an hour into the wind. Everybody's just full out. and it's good. It's crazy. The rain is really, really, really coming down now. Just want to give a shout out to my teammate Matt. He's in the rear view camera in the white and pink jersey. He just started racing with us this year and just started racing, period. He moved down here from Virginia for work, and he managed to finish 4th place in our race last weekend at Vista View. He's still working on gaining some confidence riding in the peloton and being able to use the power which he has, and it's significant to make an impact on the race. But in a race at Vista View with the hills, the race got torn to pieces, and he was able to just power up the hill and ride away from a lot of people and close the gap to a breakaway and finish 4th place. He did a really, really nice job. Just want to give you a little front view action. I passed my teammate Johnny here, and he's coming up on my wheel. My game plan here was to just help bring everybody back to this group of riders and do as much work as possible to shut down this gap we have right here. It was into the headwind, and I figured these guys up ahead were struggling a little bit, and the guys behind with us probably weren't going to want to work that much. So we have this guy with the movie star. I wonder if he's an authentic movie star rider racing in Cat 5. I doubt it. But anyway, did some work to help shut down this gap. I flicked Johnny through to get him through. Ended up headed to the back again. This was just, the whole race is just brutal on the legs. So trying to get rest whenever you can was key here, but Johnny managed to close down the rest of the gap. In my rear view here now, you see my teammate Jake. He's been training for Unbound, so he rode for 3 hours to get to the crit today. He was pretty much useless, so at least he had an excuse today. I don't know what his excuse is for the rest of the races we do, but today he had a good excuse. But we're super proud of him for going back to Unbound to do it 2 years in a row. It's a savage ride and a savage race, and we wish him the best of luck. Skipping ahead a little bit here to midway through the race. Not really a whole lot of significant things to show you here. It's just still mystified by how much rain's coming down as we're charging through this at 28, 29 miles an hour. You can see in this front video and the rear view that it is really, really raining hard now. It's impressive. So I'm gonna let this play for a beat or two so you can enjoy the rain, because it is a lot of it. Just checking back in here. We get to the point in the race where the official said that we had 2 laps to go. So we couldn't do a proper lead out today, and things were just discombobulated. I knew Johnny wasn't too far behind, so I thought the best thing I could do here was not to properly attack, but just get a little bit of a gap off the front to give some of these guys that Johnny's going to have to sprint against some incentive to chase me down and burn themselves out. It was a little bit difficult to really effectively execute a tactic where we set up a lead out train. I had no idea where any of my teammates were, if they were still in the race. I just know that Johnny was maybe 5 or 6 wheels back. So with such a short period left in the race, I thought maybe if I just give these guys a carrot to chase, they will go and stretch out a little bit, and Johnny won't get swarmed, and he would be able to find something and find a way to out sprint these guys. So that was my game plan for as long as I could. Just hang off the front, be a carrot on the end of the stick, let these guys chase me down, let Johnny not do any work, and have him be as fresh as possible for the end of the race. And as you can see, they bring out the lap cards, yet the sun's starting to come out. And funny enough, the women's race was right after our race. They basically had no rain, and the P1, 2, 3 race was absolutely beautiful. If they had just held out for maybe 5 more minutes before calling this race short, we probably could have finished the full 50-minute race. So I'm gonna switch this camera view so you can see in the rear view, because there's nothing in front of me now. This is the last lap right here, by the way. We're coming around the second turn of the last lap. So we have, less than 1.5 kilometers to go. And I'm caught, so I consider this job done for myself. I tuck myself in. You can see Johnny going ahead. I'm going to switch to his footage right now so you can see the end of the race. All right, so here we go. I'm the first wheel here, and I'm just caught now. This is basically where we left off. Johnny's coming around me, and here we go. We have this half of this stretch here, and then we have turn 3 and turn 4, and then that will be the last of the race. It's a straightaway to the finish. It's always a sprint to finish El Hueco. We just haven't found a way to get Johnny across the goal line and on the podium yet. I have a feeling we'll figure it out at some point, but just haven't gotten it right yet. But Johnny's in great position right here. He's third wheel. We're coming into the last turn here, and then it's a straightaway. There's less than 800 meters to go. The sun's coming out. The sun never sets on a badass. Johnny needs to start following these moves here. He does an okay job staying on 305 cycle. But then he doesn't get on the pedals. He needs to get on the pedals right here and stay up front, because now he's starting to get swarmed. This guy in the blue pants right here, he's the lead out guy for another guy who ends up on the podium almost every single one of these races. Johnny needed to be this guy on the left. Johnny needed to be up on his pedals right here, I think, way sooner, so he could have at least not gotten passed by a couple of these guys. He was in such great position. I think it was his best opportunity yet. Next, we're going to go over and check out some of the women's racing, and then we are going to check out the end of the P1, 2, 3 race. So stay tuned and hang in there. So the deal with the women's racing is it's really an open. They race all categories, P through 5 together. Erin, my girlfriend's a category 4, and she ended up finishing 3rd place for the women's Cat 4. She raced really well today. It was really tough and really windy. So proud of her. The women were super strong today. To cap off the racing, we had Total Cycling take 1st place and 3rd place today. Great race by them. They were in the breakaway for a very long time. To leave off with this, there's a new website out there called miamicycling.org. Go check it out. It's going to have links to all of the races, some race recaps and light blogging, but most importantly, you can find out where to register for all the races. It's confusing just to find them on Instagram. So we're going to take it and put everything together in one place so everybody can figure out where to register. I hope everybody has a great week. Next weekend, we are racing in Palm Beach at Okehilly Park for a Billbone race. Hope to see everybody there.